Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome back to Vlogmas. This is day number 4. Today I thought we would try out these bad boys. These are the 4 Odens Eye Christmas palettes. I actually missed out on the Christmas Eve and the Merry Christmas palette last year. So when these came out, the spending ban went straight out the window. So today I thought we'd do a look. I'm just going to talk about like the colour stories and things, and we'll get ready. So as always, we're going to start off with my Too Faced Shadow Insurance. Just a quick shout out to these little mince pie earrings. These are from Holly Hawks, who I absolutely love. I will leave her website and her Etsy store down in the description box. Okie dokie, let's just whack this on. Okay, so we've got 4 palettes to choose from. I'm going to go through the 2 that people might possibly already own first. So the first one is the Merry Christmas palette. This one is very festive. Reds, greens, golds. I'm very excited for this one. I think this is going to be one of the ones that we play with today. And then we've got the Christmas Eve palette, which is very wintry, cool toned blue, lots of shimmery sparkle. Now the 2 new ones I'm kind of a little bit on the fence about because they are very light, but the Snow Dreams palette is a different take on a pastel palette. It's kind of the pastel version of the Merry Christmas palette, which I think is really interesting. I think these 2 are going to work really well together. I just don't know how much I'm going to be able to do with this one on its own. I'm trying to open this one up the wrong way. So that is the Merry Christmas and the Snow Dreams side by side. As you can see, this really is just the lighter version of that. But we do still have some depth, so we'll see what we can do with that one. And then the Hey Reindeer palette is a bit more out there. This is more pink, blue, bright, not necessarily kind of a festive theme, but we've got lots of high intensity shimmers. This one here called Candy Canes looks absolutely gorgeous and reflective. So I'm very excited to dig into these. That is really pretty. I think, like I said, we're gonna do one of the older, one of the newer, I think. So we're going to go with the Merry Christmas and the Snow Dreams. We're going to put a look together using these 2. We do want to see a look with the Christmas Eve and that one's on the floor, the Hey Reindeer. I think I'm probably going to do shorts of those because Vlogmas is chock-block full of stuff and I don't know whether I'm going to have time to pull them in. But we'll do these today. So let's open them up, let's lie them side by side, let's see what we want to do. Okie dokie, I'm thinking sort of a deep red cut crease, maybe a green on the lid. So I'm first going to go in with the Morphe M200 and we're going to go into the Snow Dreams and we're going to take Boots, which is just this really pretty kind of generic peachy shade. I'm just going to run that through the crease just so we've got something to work into. Just got a little bit of Charlotte Tilbury Magic Cream just hanging on my chin. Okie dokie. That is a really nice shade. There's not a whole lot to it, but in terms of a transition shade, it's a really good one. Okie dokie, I think we're going to go into Feast, which is this brown down here, and we're going to pop this through the crease as well, just to deepen that up. You know what, maybe actually, upon closer inspection and using some of these shades, maybe there is more depth in here than there looks. I think some of the press images made it look a little bit washed out. So we're going to go into the Merry Christmas palette now and we're going to take we're going to take Gingerbread, which is this gingerbread colour here. And again, we're going to run that through the crease and then we're going to add in Poinsettia, which is this one here, which is a really nice deep red. I'm just going to blend. This has actually created a really gorgeous crease colour overall. Really nice and deep, but layered and warm and kind of toasty feeling almost. Okay, and then we're going to take poinsettia. I'm actually going to use a smaller brush. I'm going to use a Spectrum and Katie Jane Hughes number 17 for this. And we're going to start building this up in the crease. I was really tempted to do a red-green split half crease kind of look, but I did that kind of look in my Halloween Odens eye video, so I was like, I feel like I need to do something a little bit different today. So we're just taking poinsettia through that crease. This is a really nice kind of burgundy red shade. Okay, so that's that one, and then we're going to go back in with gingerbread just to blend that out on the M200. I think maybe today we'll do a halo eye with a couple of different shades. So back in with poinsettia on that little brush, and we're just running that through the crease. Such a pretty shade. Okay, back in with gingerbread, back in with the blend. Okie dokie, I'm liking the way that looks. We're then going to flip back over to Snow Dreams, and we're going to go in with Guests, which is this bright red shade. And we're going to pop this on the outer corner, just to really like intensify that bright red. And then I think what we might do actually, because that shade is stunning, I'm just going to take a bit of Feast just to blend it out, is I think we're going to use that for the halo eye. The shade actually is a lot deeper than it looks in the pan. It's kind of like a bright cherry red in the pan, but it's doing a really great job of adding some depth to that outer corner. Back in with Feast. I feel like you could probably definitely do this look with just one of these palettes, but since we've got both, and I know a lot of people ordered the bundle, because we're collectionists out here, I thought I'd do a look with each. So we're going to take Guests, and we're going to press that on the outer corner with our Katie Jane Hughes 17 from Spectrum. And we're also going to take this on the inner corner. This isn't one for the faint-hearted. If you are not into bright eyeshadow, if you're worried about your eyes looking slightly, you know, I know a lot of people are scared with red shadow, so I'm going to take Boots and blend that red in the inner corner, just so it's not so harsh. I know a lot of people think red eyeshadow looks like a eye infection, but I love it. And we're going to do the exact same on the other eye. I realised I must have still had some of that candy cane shade on my finger. I touched my face and now I'm covered in like mildly duochrome glitter. Okie dokie, so I'm leaving quite a big space. Normally I like to do my halo eyes quite kind of smoky, quite a lot of the matte colour and just a little bit of shimmer, but today I want to try and fit at least 2 shimmers on the lid space. So back in with Guess, blending that out. Just going to double check we are looking even. Put a little bit more colour on this inner corner here. Because of the way my eyes sit, this inner corner is not quite as like open as this one. So I find I have to deepen it up just ever so slightly more just to make sure that you can sort of see it. And then we're going to take the original shade that we used, so Boots. I'm going to make sure that's really blended out. Right, okay, we're going to go full Christmas here, and we're going to do some green on the lid. So I'm going to take my little Made by Mitchell, I don't even know what these are called. They're the ones that come with the colour case with the spatula on the end, but I really like them. And I think we're going to go first in with New Year from Merry Christmas. Okay, so we've had a few little audio problems here, but I'm just going to take over via voiceover. So I'm just popping that New Year's shade on both the lines of the red shadow. I'm wanting to keep the middle of the lid clear because we're going to put a different shade on there just to make sure the middle really, really, really pops. And we're just using that tiny brush because it just makes things so much easier. Had a bit of a mare this day with filming with the mics, but it's okay. We've got a voiceover mic. It's fine. If you do want to see more of these kind of voiceover tutorials, let me know. I have honestly got no idea what I'm saying right now in this video. I could be saying anything, but we've got no audio, so we're just going to have to roll with it. Just doing exactly the same thing on the other eye. This Made by Mitchell brush is really great for this because it's so small, and it means you can do really precise kind of halo eyes, like this one. Okay, so I think we're going to go back into Snow Dreams now, and we're going to take, I think the shade is called Tinsel. Would have really helped if I had the palettes with me, but there we go. That's me all over, isn't it? Unprepared. So we're going to take that Tinsel shade and we're going to put that right in the middle of the lid. I'm just wiping off my brush with a bit of Isoclean, just so we're not transferring too much of that darker green shade. As you can see, when we put this one on, this is kind of more like a silvery green. It's not actually as green as I was expecting it to be. I thought it was going to be more of like a medium green that would blend really well in with the golds. But it's not exactly what I expected it to be, so we're just going to work it into the green a little bit just to make sure it's all cohesive and nicely blended. As you can see, that shade is really, really intense, and I can't wait to use this one on its own. I feel like it didn't quite get its moment with this look because I didn't know what it was going to look like once it was on the eye. But I think it's turned out pretty cool in the end. So that's the shimmers on the lid. And then I think I go in with another shade now. This is a lot of remembering. That middle shade, I've got no idea what it's called right now, but it's very, very light. There's a little bit of a reflect in it of a little bit of orange. So I'm just popping that over the middle just to make that really pop. I can't remember. This might be the what's meant to be a hollow shade in the palette. I didn't find it was hollow, but it is really, really bright, really creamy, and very impressive, as all Odens eye shimmers are. Completely forgot what I was saying then. Right, okay, we're doing some primer. We're doing the Elizabeth Arden Hydrating Serum. This one is one that I mentioned in my top 3. It's such a great product if you've got dry skin. The pipette currently is a nightmare because it's getting to the end. So I'm pretty sure in a second I just give up and pour it onto my hand. But luckily it's a nice kind of loose serum, so it's just really easy to pour out onto your hand. There we go, pouring it out. And this is really hydrating but very lightweight. I think if you have kind of dehydrated but oily skin, you'd really enjoy this one. And then we are popping on some foundation. And I'm just going to blend that with my Coco Cosmetics by Chloe sponge. I cannot believe it's actually clean for a change. That is a win. But I'm just popping on the Nars Sheer Glow foundation here. This one again made it into my top 3 in every category of 2023. It's just a beautiful foundation, nice and dewy. It looks really weird blending it in without the sound. Right, okay, for a little bit more coverage, we're taking the Urban Decay Naked Quickie Concealer, just popping that under my eyes and a little bit on my nose, which I'm not really sure why, but there we go. In retrospect, didn't need it, but we've put it on the nose anyway. Old habits die hard, I suppose. So again, we're just going in with the Coco Cosmetics by Chloe sponge. We are going to go back in and add a bit of colour to the edge of the eye, just so that that is not kind of creating a harsh line. I honestly watching these back without any sound, I'm like, what was I even saying? What was I even saying? What is there to say about concealer? But apparently a lot. Apparently a lot. I think I was somewhat saying that this, I think, is just the same as the Stay Naked concealer, just in a bigger tube. I'm just taking my Bonnie Dolly Cosmetics powder puff now, and I'm taking a little bit of the Mercier Tone Up Rose powder. If you want a little subtle pink under eye, this is a really beautiful powder. To be fair, for me, because I am that pink toned, it's pretty much the same colour as my skin, but I think it's really nice if you do want a bit more of kind of a subtle pink powder, but you want to give the whole trend a try. And it's the same formula as Laura Mercier, beautifully finely milled. Popping on some setting spray, absolutely drowning myself in it because I am dry right now. Pretty sure I inhaled some of it. Then we're going in with a little bit of the Charlotte Tilbury Beautiful Skin Bronzer, the cream bronzer in medium. I'm pretty sure what I was saying about this one is if you are going to go for this one, I would recommend going a shade up than you would normally buy. It is quite sheer. I personally like quite an intense bronzer, so the medium shade for me definitely works well. I think light would just be a bit of a pointless product on me. And of course I'm using my BH Studio Pro number 3. You guys, if you are regulars here, will know I absolutely love this brush for my cream bronzer. Just popping some under that chinny chin to get rid of it, and taking it down the neck just to make sure we've got no kind of harsh line on the neck. Again, not really sure what I'm talking about. Honestly, watching these back, I'm like, I must go on so much. She says, also going on in the voiceover. Right, we're popping some powder blush on now. This is Clinique Sunblushed Bronzer. Nobody ever mentions this one, and I actually think it's really beautiful. It is ever so slightly satiny and kind of sheeny. It looks like it's got quite big glitter in the pan, but once it's on the skin you really can't tell. It's a really lovely warm one that's just a little bit pink, my kind of favourite kind of bronzer. And then we're doing some It's Likely Makeup blush. This one is the Clown Blush palette, and we're going to go in with the orange and the deep red to get that really beautiful kind of wintry rosy cheek. Being very, very light-handed with these because they are so pigmented, and I'm going in with the Give Me Glow blush brush, which is my current favourite brush for powder blush. I really like these It's Likely Makeup blush palettes. They're something a little bit different to what I'd normally buy, and the other one is really, really bright. I think it's the Fairy blush. There's like a mint green in there, which I love. Right, so we're going back in with the Merry Christmas palette now. I'm pretty sure I'm about to take candy canes. I'm pretty sure I'm also looking for a brush that's not filthy. That is a Lorac Pro number 6, I think. I think I'm just about to take the red shades we used, and I'm going to put those under the lash line. Oh no, we're going to go green under the lash line. Completely forgot I did this. So we're going with the kind of medium green in the palette first, just so we've got something to work that darker green into. This one didn't quite pop the way I imagined it to, but however, it made a really nice base for the darker green to blend into, and I think it made a really interesting look in the end. I wanted to pull the green down onto the lower lash line so it was a bit more of a cohesive look. I did kind of take it out to follow the red, so it all merged together really nicely. So I'm just popping that lighter green down. I'm going to go in with the darker green now. Just to give it a bit more dimension. It wasn't quite what I wanted. Once again, can't remember the name of this shade, but it's the one next to the bright green, so I use those two colours next to each other. I assume that if you are following this, you've either got the palette or you've kind of duped the vibes, so it doesn't really matter if I tell you the names, and that's what I'm going to keep telling myself. So as you can see, this dark green definitely offered a bit more of a pop of colour, comparing it to the other eye. The other eye is just a little bit lacklustre, not quite what I was looking for. I am intrigued to work with that green shade more, the lighter and brighter green, because I really did expect it to be a little bit more vibrant. So I'm going to give another play with that one. I don't know whether it's perhaps the brush I used. It's quite a fluffy little brush, so I don't know whether it wasn't quite enough to pack it in. And here I am just kind of winging it out ever so slightly at the edge of my eyes and blending it into that red shade just so it's all cohesive. It's really helpful that you covered your eye with the palette there, Nicole. Super duper helpful content as always. Right, now we're going into... No, that's not candy canes. That one's not candy canes. I used candy canes today. It was beautiful. But this is the green duochrome shade in the Merry Christmas palette. and this is like red. I'm pretty sure I went on about how beautiful this was for a good 5 minutes. So you'll have to bear with me there, but it really was not what I was expecting, and I was really impressed with it. I think it perfectly tied the look together rather than doing like a green in a corner, and you can just see that reflect there. It's just beautiful. Using my little Made by Mitchell colour case brush again, because I just think it's the best one to do kind of small shimmer work with. I do think I actually went with some of this on the lid as well, because why not? I think I pressed a tiny bit in the end onto the centre of the lids just to pull it even more together, and in fact it looked a lot more green on the middle of the lid than it did in the inner corner, where it was definitely more like a pinky, slightly corally red almost. Okay, so now we are doing something with the face, I believe. Oh yeah, I'm taking the inner corner shade. I'm going to put that on my cheeks because it was so beautiful, and this looked so good. Not one for if you're not a fan of an intense highlighter, but I thought this looked awesome. If you are kind of quite glam, you like a lot of colour, I think it's a really great idea, and I would definitely recommend doing it. We're going to go in with more setting spray because, again, I am a lizard currently. I'm dry as hell. We're going to pop a little bit of lip balm on. This is the P. Louise Overnight Lip Mask in the Passion Fruit Martini scent. And then we're going to pop some lashes on. These are Dose of Lashes Rebel. I love these lashes. I feel like I don't normally leave lash clips in, but apparently we're doing it today. And these just, we're not having any of it. I've been really struggling with my lashes at the moment. I don't know whether it's just because I've got out the habit of using them or whether the glue I'm using is not great, but I use Duo, I think, here, but the tube is kind of old. Because I love the light blue one. I do not like the new dark blue Fast Dry one. It's terrible. But I do really like the light blue one, but I think it might be time to let it go and let go that they're not going to bring it back, unfortunately. So we're just popping these lashes on. I feel like this is why I always cut this out. I feel like it's not the most exciting thing in the world. And then we're going to do a little bit of a brow. That is Anastasia Brow Wiz. And I'm literally just putting it a tiny bit towards the end and then a little bit in the front start of the brow, just to thicken it out a bit. My brows are a little bit sparse there, where 12-year-old me thought it was a genius idea to pluck them all off. So we're just gonna do that, just give it a little bit more structure. I definitely don't go for as a structured brow as I used to. I do like a little bit of something through them, whether it's a little bit of like a tinted brow gel or just a tiny bit of pencil. And recently I have been using a pencil a little bit more often, again just filling in that front area. And then we're going to line the lips. This is Too Faced lip liner in Badass. This is a really great pinky nude shade. It's basically my lips but a little bit darker, and it does actually remind me quite a lot of Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk. I think they're a tiny bit cheaper. The packaging for me is definitely nicer. The only thing is with these, once you've wound them up, you can't wind them back down, which I hate in a lip liner. It just feels like they're encouraging you to waste them. So we're just going to line those lips, make sure we're making a nice little curved little cupid's bow there, and then we're going to go in with the worst named lipstick of all time. This is Melt Hoe is Life. Really don't like that name, but these lipsticks are absolutely gorgeous. It melts matte formula. A little bit of Lancôme Hypnose Drama on the eyelashes. As always, I am a creature of habit after all. Going to pop a little bit on the lower lash line as well, and then I'm going to squeeze my lashes together. I don't know whether I do that on camera, but I take the lashes with the mascara and the lashes and press them together just to like solidify that bond a little bit more. I find it just helps them sit nicer. And we're going to do that at some point. She keeps going. Okay, I think we're going to sort the hair out. I think we're almost there now, guys. I think we're almost there. Oh no, we're going in with one more lot of setting spray. Because apparently that's necessary. Is 3 lots of setting spray necessary? No. Do I love putting 3 lots of setting spray on? Yes. So we're just going to sort out the hair, and that is the look for today. I was really happy with how this came out. Really, really impressed with the final formula. I do hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more from me, hit subscribe and click the bell icon to be notified. You've been fabulous. I've been Coleoftheball, and I'll see you next time. Bye.